해는 2023년 8월 6일 사우디컵 게이머즈 8 e스포츠 행사였습니다. 택배는 리덴이 초청받아 4강전 형식으로 진행됐는데요. 정명훈은 김태경을 2대0으로 꺾고 이재동은 송병구를 2대0으로 꺾으며 다시 한번 바투스타 리그 결승 리벤지 매치가 성사되었습니다. 1경기에서 선정된 맵은 폴리포이드. 과연 이 둘의 대결에서는 어떤 경기 양상이 펼쳐졌을까요? 14년 만에 펼쳐진 denDong 1세트 지금 함께 감상하시죠.
But the way he beat it kind of makes sense. He really had a very specific attack, a specific plan laid out, and it worked out. So here we get to see what happens with these two players. In the bottom left, in the red, our Zerg player, he is Jaedong. And in the upper left, his opponent, the Terran, he is FanTaSy. Overpower him in probably a more normal game, probably in a late game TVZ.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And I wonder what type of style he'll show.
And what you said, Artos, is that it looks like it's going to be Barracks Command Center, meaning we're probably going to organically flow into Mass Marines. I'm curious to see what kind of condition FanTaSy's standard TVZ Medic Marine composition is going to look like as far as control goes.
Yeah, and you know, Jaedong obviously has been back with...
That's what he wants it to look like. But in fact, he's going to go right back into the ideas he had versus Bisu. This is going to be a very, very early time in attack, which I think is going to be disguised in a very smart way.
You haven't really seen this utilized at the pro level. But because of the Overlord scout patterns, there's nothing here to spot this. He got rid of the drone. The build looked normal to Jaedong. He has his Marines out front to catch any Zerglings trying to come in. And in these spawns, you just don't really get an Overlord over the ledge.
Oh my god. Okay, now he knows. But this gives Jaedong basically 5 seconds or so to try to whip up something to deal with this. And so he sees the fire bats, so he knows what's coming next. The Lings come in there and they don't kill a single Marine.
No, he's trying to slow him right now. He needs sunken colonies up. That's going to be the only way to hold this. One has already started, a second on the way. He's put practice. Now the Marines and medics getting on top of these. This is very bad for Jaedong. This right now is looking like a FanTaSy victory. More Speedlings come out, start to surround the Marines there. They're actually doing a pretty good job considering.
And there's no sunk out. Does finish. Are there enough medics? He runs the fire bat up the ramp.
But it gets caught. Beautiful move from Jaedong. That drone drill catching the fire bats. The two Lings coming up to kill the other one. Amazingly done. I actually have chills on my arms right now. So Jaedong holds that by the skin of his teeth.
FanTaSy would have liked to have done a little bit more damage. A layer's long now done, and I think we probably have 6 to 5 Mutalisks about to hatch.
Yeah, those Mutalisks going to make it very hard to break in. The eBay only now being started, so he does have to keep this group out on the map. The Mutas to have to deal with his Marines and Medics until he has his turrets up.
That's right. These fire bats are going to be staying out here to try to catch any more Lings or drones. Whether he wants to stay outside the Zerg's base or get back home, it's not going to be easy. Did he actually snipe a Muta there? I think he might have gotten one.
I think he just very damaged one right here. We should have some more Mutas coming out, though. 4 is a very low number. You can't one-shot Marines with that. He's going to be able to get that anti-air defense he needs at home. And this game, like, I think there's a decent chance it actually just normalizes and goes into a regular-looking Terran vs. Zerg.
I think you might be right about that. You know, the fact that the Marines created enough of a threat, the Mutas could never go into the main Herkers off. And so instead, Jaedong's going to try to get whatever damage done he can. But he's honestly in overall pretty good control of this game. The fire bats can basically intercept anything that might try to run around.
That group of Marines and medics pretty far forward. He is going to have to be careful because as this Mutalisk count grows, as he gets up to a full group of Mutalisks, that group of Marines and medics can be picked off pretty quickly. So far, very good micro here from FanTaSy, trying to keep his Marines in such a way they do damage there. And you can see just how masterful FanTaSy is once again. He doesn't have missile turrets at his natural. Very few players would risk that, but he knows that Jaedong is too good to counterattack him.
To cut, and I gotta say, you know, a lot of times when you see the one base play not end the game, it can backfire pretty badly, but so far so good. But as I'm finishing that sentence, it looks like we've got the Muta count up high enough to where you don't have to deny the armory. I have to imagine that was for a Viking as well, or a Valkyrie as well, excuse me.
Yeah, most certainly that's true. Like, for 100%, that's what FanTaSy wants, is those Valkyries to really help push back the Mutalisks. Jaedong's counterattack here, though, it's killed some SCVs. It's delayed that armory quite a bit, delaying some of these turrets as well. He is going to fly out, taking quite a few turret hits.
Really on his back foot, but that's kind of the ebb and flow of TVZ, even if this game didn't go that crazy early on. And from here, he just has to get that armory up. Now, having the armory delayed even a little bit means there's probably going to be one less Valkyrie out there.
Those are just sitting there trying to catch like a drone coming out for a third base.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is something Jaedong is going to have to think about pretty soon. He also has to start considering that his Mutalisks are not going to do anything anymore.
We have some pocketed scans. He could try to check for that a little bit later on. We've got at least the first Valkyrie that I've seen so far here. That's for this travel distance from where FanTaSy is. And that's very standard. You always want your base to be down there in that location. We'll see when he actually throws the hatchery down, but we can
Mutalisks. Jaedong has to be very careful. One actually tanks the hits. He's trying to dive to get a kill. He actually kills one of those Valkyries, so that is solid, but he has taken a significant amount of splash damage here from this Valkyrie. Looks like it's going to come in once again. Think about getting those lurkers ASAP.
He's going to go for that second Valkyrie. Oh my god, he's so ballsy to have them come out again like that. Now these mutas are so low. Now just imagine FanTaSy had kept that extra Valkyrie alive and then not had that armory interrupted. He would have been up to 4 Valkyries here, which is really tough. Overlords get killed, so supply blocks kick in, and we're moments away from this push actually commencing. There's 5 sunken colonies that are ready to go. There are lurkers here as well, but lurkers are not everything. You just push, the Terran's going to send your way.
Now, it looks like his natural is going to be safe. He actually comes in once again, takes some Valkyrie hits. He is still killing off any Valkyries that he can.
The lurkers attack until he wants to. This actually could end the game for FanTaSy. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
Big moment right now, big moment. He brings up the mutas, and there you go. He gets those Marines to stack up, getting insane hits with these lurkers, but there's so many Marines he scans, and he's actually going to be able to kill one of the lurkers. The other trying to get up the ramp. FanTaSy should push here.
Oh my god, is the scan too late? No, he's going to be able to sidestep the shot. I don't know if it's going to play much of a role here. He's going to lose that one Hydra. And I will say right now, with the hatchery going down, FanTaSy favor here.
Yes, yes. That was a very funny moment because Jaedong with the hold position lurkers, he was looking to destroy FanTaSy.
They're going to inch forward here, and if FanTaSy's not watching, he'll lose this, but FanTaSy is so on top of it. By the way, no more energy in this not medevac, excuse me. Here we go again. Oh my god, this is perfect.
Man, he's going to go ahead and get at least one siege tank. Comes up and flanks the other 2. Are you kidding me? He kills 3 siege tanks here.
Match we wanted here for game 1. And with the tanks, tank count, I think it's at 0, right? Yeah,
it's
there are no
at 0.
Tanks. He literally can't push. See, that's basically marooned on the map. It looks like he sees these lurkers are maybe sticking out a little bit too much. Decides to go and target that down. Looks like just one lurker will be able to stay alive, but this foothold outside, he doesn't have an extra base, and oh my god, a miscontrol there from Jaedong. Sniped before the Dark Swarm can give him the cover.
Yeah, the big problem here is, like, Jaedong has made some really fantastic moves, but losing that third base, you can't play even bases against Terran. This is not going to turn into a winning position unless you get Defilers all the way into your opponent's natural. It's just not going to work out for you. So Jaedong needs to do more than he's doing now.
So we've got another push coming down here now. And remember, Firebats can deal damage through Dark Swarm, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're good against lurkers. Right now, Jaedong's doing a great job with the Dark Swarms. He keeps leapfrogging that out here. FanTaSy's sidestepping pretty gracefully. Again, though, no third base here for Jaedong. It's natural. And, you know, it's a position where we have basically 2 fights going on. We have this outpost over here outside Jaedong's base that FanTaSy's controlling, but it's a similar thing, only smaller for Jaedong versus FanTaSy up here with the Dark Swarm. The thing is, oh my god, as I was going to say earlier, if Jaedong can stop FanTaSy from having these 2 armies merged together, it's going to be huge, but it does seem like this game is slowly going in the direction where FanTaSy is going to get that wrecking ball. We see that position fall now. They can merge together, and I think that it's going to be really tough here for Jaedong.
And here, yeah, maybe FanTaSy can't push in for the win, but just keeping Jaedong on 2 bases is actually a win. We have about 6 minutes of gas left for Jaedong. Here, another base ASAP.
Oh my God, is this dropship full? It looks like it's going to be hit by at least one of the Scourge, but it looks like he might be able to unload this into the main. Again, you have a limited amount of Dark Swarms here. FanTaSy taking way more damage than I expected over here at the entrance.
Well, he actually doesn't have necessarily the right tools to deal with Defiler. But once Defilers are out, you really need Science Vessels, and the one vessel we saw got picked off. So there are issues about FanTaSy's position too.
What?
Here, Jaedong finally brings a drone up for that expansion. Can he completely secure it though?
Yeah, if the Marine was just a hex over to the left, I think he would have actually physically blocked the hatch rate from being planted. We've got the rest of the infantry over here gathered up. Now he can isolate this expansion to the center left. By the way, you never want to expand here. This is the only place he could take. This is not like the ideal location to be going for.
So he's trying to whittle things down slowly but surely. He's got a huge supply advantage. Jaedong is holding on, but just that, right? He's got 72 supply. Live, you won't die yet, but he's got to continue to build up.
Yeah, we see the burrowing over here. And what FanTaSy needs to do is just step back. He needs to make the Zerg do as much work as possible while not fully engaging, because the lurkers under the Dark Swarm are effectively invincible. It looks like he's going to get vision over here. Oh my God, couldn't have been closer.
Dark Swarm right there. These siege tanks going to get picked off once again. Jaedong is actually like putting out an amazing game. Obviously, third base got busted, and that's why FanTaSy is so far ahead. But Jaedong has been fighting back amazingly. A great plagues, Dark Swarms. He's picked off so many tanks, so many Science Vessels falling as well.
Sometimes you want these Irradiates to come down on the Defiler. You just want to keep picking that off over and over again. The fact that there's a Nidus over here means I think this position can be controlled fairly well.
From around 21, 22 minutes, we start running low on gas as Zerg. So he's got to be careful about that as we approach those minute marks. Double Dark Storm going down. He's plagued a lot of these units as well. Of course, ranged units deal no damage back up.
All right, he's Dark Swarm that one Defiler. And there's a bit of a strain here. I mean, you know, I think we don't have any more than 1 or 2 Defilers out at a time. Can't attack in there. Instead, it's keeping Zerg from dying because Terran's going to get bigger and bigger. It's 60 supply to 125 right now, Artosis.
Yeah, we are really on the brink of Jaedong being broken, right? This is right in the number where Zergs give up.
Right.
But as is, he does have that fresh gas, so Jaedong not going to give up immediately. Still throwing down these Dark Storms, still trying to just break the army enough.
He's going to try to get that Irradiate. He does. There should be another Defiler hatching here. And really, I mean, Jaedong has no plan to win the game right now. What he needs to do is just last.
Yes.
He needs...
you know, we're actually approaching that moment where we are going to be running out of gas in the main base, then shortly after in the natural. So this out of gas in this matchup, there's just nothing you can do as Zerg. Now, he throws out another Dark Storm. FanTaSy continuing to push forward, throwing down Irradiates, doing a fantastic job here.
Just stand in the contained position and just try to irradiate this, and you know, you're eating away at the defenses over time. And eventually there's just nothing there to stop the infantry from breaking through.
So true. The infantry trying to break through right now. FanTaSy trying to get a finish. He may be able to do it. All 4 of those lurkers end up falling. A little counterattack from Jaedong, but he has to GG. But it was hard fought.
That was a sick game, Artosis.
It was. That was a good game.
That was a real treat to cast. And, you know, Jaedong played a really good tactical game.
배럭 더블 페이크 투배럭 러쉬를 준비했는데 되게 잘 막았습니다. 이러면 당연히 저그가 유리해야 하는데 정명훈의 특유의 움직임과 심리전으로 저그를 계속 가난하게 압박했습니다. 뒤에 더블을 먹었는지 아니면 더 올인을 치는지 저그 입장에서 모르니까 테란 병력에게 더 신경을 쓸 수밖에 없었고 드론을 채울 자원을 저글링과 뮤탈에 선투자됐습니다. 하지만 이 병력들은 수비하기에는 적합할지 모르나 공격을 가기엔 애매한 병력들이라 테란이 마당을 활성화시키고 터렛을 두르기까지 순수 병력 움직임으로만 적의 공격을 봉쇄했습니다. 이후 뒤늦게 뮤탈이 활약을 시도했으나 피해를 많이 주지 못한 상황에서 운영 싸움에 돌입했고 결정적이었던 건 5시 스탑 럴커가 독이 되었습니다. 나름 큰 이득을 챙기고자 스탑 럴커를 했는데 생각보다 테란의 병력이 많아서 그대로 잡아 먹히며 삼가스를 가져가지 못했습니다. 이제 뮤탈도 소모당하고 럴커도 소모당한 입장에서 이후 삼가스를 확보하기엔 너무나 어려웠습니다. 결국 꾸역꾸역 9시를 먹었지만 테란의 지속적인 공세에 결국 디파일로 구멍이 생기며 게임을 내줄 수밖에 없었습니다. 있었습니다. 정명훈 선수의 병력 움직임이 돋보이는 경기였습니다. 다음에도 좋은 영상으로 찾아뵙겠습니다. 감사합니다.